Okay, keep going team, look awesome for 20 seconds. Good. Yes, you all did a good job there. Perfect. Woo, we'll peel it out. Good morning everybody, it is day 6 of the 28-day body transformation. I have just finished my morning boot camp session that I've been running with some people, and now I'm heading home to see my family. Woo! Okay, it's been a good morning. Okay, as you can see, the rough format that I'm following for this body transformation is mind state, nutrition, and training. Okay, just cycling back through those constantly, and I'm always trying to just add more information and recap just to make life a bit easier for you. So we're going to go down this mind state path again, and we're going to give you another little gold nugget that is going to help you to keep on track. All right, today what I need you to do is to define a reward. Okay, a reward that you are going to give yourself at the end of 28 days for achieving your goal. Now this reward cannot be shit food. Okay, it cannot be shit food or something that's detrimental to your health. It has to be something that adds to your health or adds to your journey and adds to your experience. We just don't want to take away from it, okay, and we don't want to establish that as part of what we do. So what I suggest would be something, you know, you might reward yourself with a new pair of running shoes. You might reward yourself with some new merch, a wristband. You might get a device to register your 10,000 steps. I don't know what it is. Whatever gets you excited, get into that. Okay, get into that. Now, for me, my reward, to give you an example of a good style of reward that you could tap into, is I currently train at a martial arts academy, okay, and I really want to go into this particular class that's like a MMA class, which is where you learn MMA, okay. It doesn't mean you're necessarily going to fight. I don't have intentions to fight, but it's you're learning MMA, because I find that sport really awesome and intriguing. So I feel like I'm not at a good enough fitness level, and I feel like I'm not at my right weight as well. I feel like I would be sluggish and really struggling and just be on the back foot. So my reward to myself when I get to the 90 kgs is I'm going to allow myself to go and do that class. Now that's just an example. You don't need to do something like that. Yours could be something as simple as, I am going to go and get me a new pair of awesome minimalist running shoes, or I'm going to go do a shop with my girls and we're going to go get some activewear. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Okay, but we need to come up with a reward, because it all gets a bit demotivating if we're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Yes, we've got, you know, the motivational drivers and I guess the deep emotional stuff that you've got deep down, but it's cool just to have something tangible or something a little bit more real right here that you can hold and touch, or that you know that you're going to be able to have at the end of the 28 days. So that is my mind state tip for today. Find a reward, and reward yourself when you deserve it, and make it a reward that's not going to be detrimental to your health. Next, let's go on to the nutrition. Okay, we're coming up towards the end of week 1. We're on 1 meal a day, where we've got our shopping list, see below in the description. We understand about weight loss, how many calories we need to be in deficit. If you don't, go back to the previous video on day 5 and you'll see I've explained exactly how we lose the weight. So the nutrition, I want you to start mentally preparing yourself that we're going to be doing a 48-hour fast at the start of each week. Okay, so we're on day 6, we're going to eat a meal. tomorrow when we have day 7, we then won't be having a meal for another 48 hours. Okay, so start mentally preparing for that, because we're going to get you to this goal that you want to achieve. We're going to get you in the groove, we're going to get you to this goal. And it's not just about the weight loss. This is about you taking control of your eating patterns, your eating habits, owning your situation, and knowing that you are in charge. You determine what the fuck goes in your mouth. You don't get these primal urges and then next minute we're in the KFC drive-through stuffing our face with a bucket, okay, which is what I have been known to do in the past. So when I'm talking to you, I hope you realize I'm not preaching to you. I'm talking to you as I'm talking to myself, because these are the mistakes that I've made in the past, and I know when I've given myself these steps and I've put myself through this, it goes a lot better. And my goal is to get you fit and healthy and to have this health and fitness lifestyle, but also for myself. I want to be in this health and fitness lifestyle for as long as I can be as well. Let's do this for life. Now, training. Okay, training, we're coming towards the end of week 1. I've intentionally not loaded your training too hard out. Why? Because you're fasting. Okay, you're fasting, your body's getting used to it. You could potentially be feeling a little bit lethargic. So training, I want you to assess it. Do you feel as though 10,000 steps and 3 sets of the 50 exercises, are you still sore? Are you feeling a bit sore off these strength exercises? If you are, cool, stick with that. But we may need to load some more on. And what I'm going to show you now for the remainder of this clip, once we get back to the dojo, is we're going to show you some additional exercises where you can start supplementing them into your training program to bung in over and above your 10,000 steps and our squats, Hindu push-ups and perfect crunches that we're doing at the moment. So we're adding on. We're going to tab on these exercises for all of you thrusters out there who want to go a little bit more hard out. Hey there, Mark again, and I'm just going to show you these exercises that we're going to add to the repertoire. So one thing I like to do is mix up my strength exercises with mobility options. Okay, mobility options. So what that means is the movements that we'll do both build strength and mobility through a range of motion. So the first movement, we want to set up in quite a wide squat in what I would call a sumo squat position, okay, in quite a nice wide position, bit of stretch going through the hips. From there, what we're going to do, drop. So as we drop, this knee heads in the same direction as the toe, so nothing funky like collapsing in or going out, heading in the same line as the toe. We head in, this heel props up, okay, as we go, so start a little bit wider, and we're dropping in down into a side lunge or a side squat, side lunge I think you call it, but aka a groin stretch. Boom, pop it up here. So this is where we can either treat it as a strength activity, boom, or we can treat it like a mobility option. Okay, so it's actually a stretch or a movement. The thing I like about this, for me, it gives me a good understanding of what's going on. I've got to keep this heel here nice and flat, keep it down. It gives me an idea of what's going on in my hips. So that feels alright. So I can feel there's an issue where the issues are. One heel's not going down as well. This one, tight Achilles. Okay, the heel's not going down as well. This side, when I come, a lot more pull here into the adductor, glute, as well as hamstring area. So it's a bit overactive, okay, in through there. And even here I can feel it opening up through the groin, psoas. So add that exercise, I would call that a side lunge. With a wide setup, a sumo lunge setup, add it in, 50 reps, go 25 each side, pace it out however you need to. That's the first exercise we're adding today. The next activity, the next strength activity is going to be hanging, as you can see. So what you can't see below me is that my legs are actually, so all the way down to my hips is obviously a straight line. Then at my hips, my legs are coming out at 90 degrees and then my knees are at 90 degrees. So it almost looks like I'm sitting in a chair. Okay, 90-degree bends at my joints. And I'm taking a bit of the weight off my arm, but I'm able to switch the pressure into my shoulders. Gives me a little bit of relief of pressure in my grip. And the mission that we're going to set for you is to do an accumulated, okay, add this up team, 7 minutes a day of hanging. Cool, so that was like probably 45 seconds, right? What I would then do is go, okay, I've got 45 seconds. You might have a timer or a stopwatch or some way to keep track of this. Or you might just do it in 1 minute increments. Get that logged down 7 minutes throughout the day. So therefore you might need to get one of these. I invested in one of these. These are really handy. Just be really careful when you get onto them. As you get onto them, you got to make sure that the weight goes down. Okay, never pop them up. People tend to pop them up as they get onto them really weirdly. It's like, no, the weight needs to be down. Okay, as you know, now all my weight's going through it. I'm 100 kilos. You know, so we've got a bit of weight going through it and they can handle it. Right, that feeling there, obviously it's quite challenging on the forearms and grip, which is going to be good for me, but I can give it a bit of relief through the legs, but the stretch through the shoulders, I can mainly feel it through the rhomboids, okay, because I'm trying to retract my shoulder blades down. I'm trying to pull down, and I can just feel it through the rhomboids. But my experience has shown me, through showing a lot of people this hanging drill, that people feel it in different areas. So a lot of people feel it in the lats, so they'll get a real strong pull through the lats. Some people actually get it in through the chest, you know, so for some reason it's the chest. So it's really going to depend where you're tight as to where you're going to feel this. It will be an uncomfortable feeling to start with, the hanging, particularly your grip strength. Okay, you're going to go through some changes. All I would do is encourage you to use more legs. Don't thrash yourself. Like I'm using my legs here and it's, you know, it's not too hard. I can take the pressure off like I'm almost standing up here. And then I can let it fully hang out, and it's just, oh, you can tell, 7 minutes a day doing that. Throw that in there, team, into our strength program. So we've got our squats. Okay, we've got our nice, deep, really perfect squats. We've got our perfect crunches with the foot tucked in tight on either side, so we can feel what's going on either side of the core, the imbalances. We've got the Hindu push-up, which is essentially a downward dog where you can get the stretch and mobility into the hamstring and calves if you're doing it properly. And then as you come up, you're pushing up, you get the stretch into the core and the releasing of the lower back. So you can see all of these movements specifically done to mobilize you and strengthen you. Then you got the side lunge. Okay, we've added that. which is going to mobilize the hips, get you moving side to side, getting some awareness of what's going on in your hips. And now we're going to add in hanging, an accumulated 7 minutes a day, to sort out any shoulder ailments that you may have. Okay, there's a book that is out. I can't remember the doctor's name, but I will reference it below in the description. I'll actually Google it, look it up on Amazon, and I'll find the book. There's a reputable surgeon who came out and said that hanging is the answer to all shoulder ailments. Okay, mainly because we come from primates. Sorry, you religious people. Okay, we come from primates, and primates were used to hanging. You know, and hanging is essentially the opposite of all of this front-sided work that we're doing. The hanging, physiologically, used to counter that. So that is the theory behind hanging. That's why it's so good for shoulder health. It's definitely helped me over the years since I learnt about it, and I would encourage you to get into hanging if you have any shoulder ailments, neck niggles, anything like that, and some trigger pointing stuff. So next time through, when we get into a training day, okay, we're about to wind up day 6, we will show you some trigger pointing stuff as well to get some releases. I'll show you the key trigger pointing areas of the body to get the most benefit for the release. Okay, that's it, team. We're winding up day 6. It's been a hell of a day. We've had some good training. Well done to everybody on the program. Stick with it. Comment below if you need any help, assistance, guidance. Hit me up as long as it's in the comments, because then it benefits everybody, because we can see what's going on and who needs the help, and build that community vibe. Shot.